Hey there, welcome back to the channel. We are hopefully helping you become a better entertainer and performer. The only advertising we'll do is if you want to support us, go to volpinecreations.com. Let's dive right in. Today, we're going to be talking about how to land a restaurant gig. So as a close-up performer, a restaurant gig is one of the best environments you can put yourself in. They call it a restaurant residency, where maybe you get 1 or 2 nights a week to go and entertain the guests. A few things to keep in mind. I can only give you the experiences I've had and tell you what's landed my restaurant gigs. Also, when you're doing a restaurant gig, the first and, to me, most important thing you have to remember is that it is not about you, okay? You being there doing magic has nothing to do with you. The whole point of why you're there is to give them a unique ambiance, a unique setting in their restaurant, and to be a problem solver for the restaurant. For instance, there's a group of 4 people at a table. Let's say the cook screwed up their order. They're now going to have to wait an extra 10 minutes before their food comes out. You can be that problem solver, go in, entertain for that 10 minutes. So instead of them sitting there feeling like, man, this took forever, they get something unique. They get entertained while they're waiting for their food. So just remember that it's not about you. The restaurant has one goal in mind, to get as many people in and out as possible. So the more times they can flip the table, meaning the more times a group sits down, eats, and leaves so another group can come in, the more money the restaurant makes. The last thing they want is for you to show up, keep people at the table longer, even though they're being entertained and seeing something unique. It's losing money for the restaurant. So when you're performing at a restaurant, you're not going to go up after their meal and entertain, because after their meal, the restaurant wants them out of there so a new party can come sit down and spend money at their establishment. The best time is while they're waiting for their food, if a food order is delayed. And I've even worked at restaurants that had such a long line out the door that I would entertain the line while they were waiting to sit down. Okay, so just really, really important to stress, if you're going to go into a restaurant to work, you have to realize that it is not about you. It will be amazing marketing for you, and you'll get your business card handed out, and that's awesome. That's a benefit for you. That is not a benefit for the restaurant. What's the benefit for the restaurant? A unique experience for the dining staff, as well as you're a problem solver. Now, if you go into a restaurant with that mentality, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take time away from your, I'm not here to add time to the tables. I'm here to be a problem solver and to offer a unique ambiance or atmosphere for your restaurant, okay? If you speak their language and you let them know, I understand you want to turn tables as much as possible. I'm here to help facilitate that. I'm not going to be performing at the end of their meal. What I'll do is entertain them while they're waiting for their meal so that wait time doesn't feel like a wait time. They'll also in turn go tell their friends, this amazing magician was at the restaurant, you should go check him out. So you're on their side, you're there for them, okay? Another thing to keep in mind is the wait staff. You're just a headache to them. A lot of times the wait staff is going to see you as somebody who's taking their tips. So my personal advice is never take tips at a restaurant. If someone does tip you, go give it to the wait staff, okay? So I've been performing, someone gave me a 20 and I said, no, please. They insisted. So I went over to the waiter who was serving them and said, hey, I got this, but it's for you. That's going to make that wait staff your best friend, okay? Whoever that waiter is, they are going to be on your side. So when a table sits down, they're going to say, oh, we've got this amazing magician, Adam. He'll come up to your table. He'll do some close-up magic. Do you want to see him? Now you're not walking up to that table dry and saying, hey, I'm the magician. You've already been introduced. And the way to get there is to have the wait staff on your side, okay? So how did I land restaurant gigs? For me, it was quite simple. I'd go into the restaurant and eat. I'd go by myself. I'd feel out, is this the kind of restaurant I want to be performing at? And that's an important question to ask. If you're a corporate entertainer, then don't go to a family restaurant that has a lot of kids. If you're a kids entertainer, don't go to a business style restaurant. Go to a family restaurant. So are the clientele in this establishment the clientele I want to be working for? That's the first question to ask as you're eating, okay? And then look around. See, are there a bunch of empty seats? Are the tables not filling up? Does it look like it's sort of a slow, boring night? that might not be the night for you to pitch your services, right? You want to get a feel for the establishment and start thinking, how could I help this place? If you go there and there's a line out the door, hey, I could entertain the line while people are waiting, right? It just depends on, does that demographic or does that audience fit where you want to be going? And does that restaurant actually have a need for your services? Most restaurants do. If it's a dying restaurant, there's only 1 or 2 people, but there's 40 tables, probably not the best fit for you, okay? If it's a busy hopping restaurant, has clientele you want to be performing for, great. You enjoy your meal and you come back again. This time I go on a night that isn't very busy. So I might go on a Sunday, right? I might go on a later in the evening. Now, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, the general manager will be there. So I might go on, and that's not a rule of thumb. That's just in my experience. Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually when the GM is there. So I would go in later on a Tuesday and sit at the bar. I would then get a simple meal and I would start talking to the bartender. Keep in mind, don't do it if the bartender is extremely busy, right? It's got to be a slower evening. When it's a slower evening, I'll start talking to the bartender and just chatting them up. Then I'll slowly introduce what I do. Now, I might not say, hey, I'm a magician. Can I show you something? But I might take out a deck of cards as I'm eating and do some cardistry or something that will grab his attention, his or her attention. Once they ask, what are you doing? I'll then show them some of my strongest magic. And one of 2 things will happen. The rest of the staff will notice and come over. And then that GM is going to go, why is my staff not doing their job? And they'll come over. Okay. If that happens, great. Apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just a magician. And this is what I say. I used to work in a restaurant exactly like this doing tableside magic. Feels like home to me. Now I've got an in with that general manager and I can start talking to them. I can show them some magic, or they may just be pissed that you took the staff away and then, hey, I need my staff to get back to work. All right, that's probably not your in then. A lot of times, if it's a slower night, they'll come over and go, what's going on? And then I'll be able to show them some magic. I'll tell them I used to work at a restaurant just like this. Here's what I did. Actually, is that something you'd be interested in here? Maybe just a trial. We'll try it one night. I really like to get back doing restaurants. I perform all over the world normally, but I really like doing restaurants because it's where I can do close up and people really receive it the best. So I'm planting the seed of how I can benefit their restaurant, right? I've gotten their attention. I've planted the seed. This is how I can help. And I let them connect the dots. Okay. Another way is I'll just go in cold and say, hey, is there a manager here? I'll speak to the manager. It doesn't always work. You're going to get about 20 no's before you get 1 yes, but you only need that 1 yes. And again, I go in there on their side. I don't go in there and say, hey, I'm a magician. I can do magic. I say, hey, I can help you out. I noticed there was a line out the door at an old restaurant I used to work at. I used to entertain the line before they sat down to make that time not seem so long, right? So I'm going in with solutions to problems. The problems I found when I first sat down and ate there. So I go a couple times, I figure out where I might be able to help, and then I approach the general manager with that help. The last thing I'll touch on is pricing. How much do you charge? I would very rarely charge anything. I would say I'll do this for free and a free dinner. The only thing I'd like is that we can get some table tents with my website on them. So let me do a trial. We'll do one night. We'll see how it goes. If it goes well, then we'll talk about the next steps where maybe I can come in once a week. I don't want to take any money from you. All I want is a table tent and I'll entertain. I don't take tips, and I reinforce that I do not take tips because I don't want the wait staff upset. And then you just do a great job. You go in, and if someone tries to tip you, just say, you know what, the best tip you could give me is to go tell the general manager or the hostess how much fun you had here. And tell your friends. Tell your friends every Thursday I'll be back, okay? Again, the main thing to remember is that we are part of the restaurant staff. That's really what we want to be thinking, is we're here to help the restaurant. And if you can get that in your mind and go in there with a problem-solving mentality, then it's a numbers game. You're just going to go to as many as you can that fit the demographic you want to perform for until you get that general manager or owner who gives you the chance. Once you get that chance, you over-deliver. Do the best you possibly can. I always try and get a free dinner out of it. So at the end of my shift, I get a free dinner. I get some table tents on the table, and everybody has a good time. So all you need is 1 or 2 restaurants, and your performance will go through the roof. Your bookings will go through the roof because those people will say, hey, I like this guy. Do you have a business card? I'm going to hire him next. And the people who go out to eat are the people who have extra money to spend on things like hiring a magician. So I hope that helps somebody. You got to get through the nervousness of asking. But if you're asking to say, hey, I can help you, instead of, hey, you can help me get more shows, it becomes a little easier. And like I said, all you need is 1 or 2 restaurants to bite. Now you have 2 residencies every week where you're bettering your magic, you're meeting a ton of clientele, and you're helping the restaurant out. I hope that helps.